The following is a presentation of BiGGs Media Services.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting's hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Are you ready? Time to play the game!
BiGGs Golf Talk. Golf Talk for golfers.
You want to hear a nice golf joke?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have showed up and watched me play yesterday. I should be put on Sink Galore or something like that. A team named that. Scramblers. That's it. Scramblers, that's a team I should be on. Because I was scrambling for my ball.
There's a golf shot. That's a golf shot.
Hey, when am I going to get the caddy?
The bag is bigger than you.
So?
That white one?
Yeah?
That's the one you're carrying.
Oh, man, that thing's a boat anchor.
I haven't had the golf anything since high school.
No, that's you, not me. She likes to enjoy a beverage herself. Is that what you're trying to say?
I might be distracted. That's another story. Golf course and equipment reviews, golf news, guests, and lots of golf humor. When you need to drive for show.
Are you ready
for BiGGs Golf Talk?
I'm special.
Yes, you are, with a helmet.
So I got that going, which is nice.
It is showtime, baby. Here we go.
BiGGs Golf Talk is presented by U.S. Golf Challenge with Tito's Vodka. Qualify for a national qualifier by visiting usgolfchallenge.com or bigsgolftalk.com. BGT also sponsored in part by ShotScope, Data is Power, Encore Golf, Photo Ball Marker, McNally 22, Ready Putt, and Spider Divot Tools. Connect with BiGGs Golf Talk on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, GolfBall. Subscribe to us on YouTube, iTunes. We're available in the Google Play Music Store, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and your smart home devices. Our website is www.bigsgolftalk.com, BIGGS golftalk.com. We have our giveaways that is on there right now for October. Oh, and what a great giveaway it is. I'm Big John Vick. He is the GolfFather, Bill Cuebas, and the Golf Diva, Amanda Robertson. Will be having her on par with Amanda. Good morning, Billy.
Good morning, Biggie. How's it going, brother?
What a week it has been. You are on the road once again. Me, yes. I just got finished participating just a couple days ago on Thursday in the Twin Peaks outing that benefited the Folds of Honor of New Mexico. What a great event it was. We were at the Canyon Club at Four Hills, and it was just a great golf course, man. And we're going to have the Canyon Club here on BiGGs Golf Talk probably next week, as a matter of fact, as early as next week, and talk about that great course because it is in phenomenal shape, and they have a lot of things they like to talk. They used to be called Four Hills, and they changed the name to the Canyon Club, and hence the Canyon Club at Four Hills. So we're going to have them on. But it was a great event. I wound up emceeing the event at Twin Peaks and becoming their, I guess, resident DJ for the night. So
cool. Very nice.
It was a great, great event. But you, my friend, you're somewhere in the United States. Where are you, Billy?
I'm in Horseshoe Bay, Texas.
Woo-woo!
That's where I'm at. Yeah, man, it's an amazing place, Biggs. I mean, everything's been top notch since I've been here. I'm hoping that we're going to be here soon together, which will be awesome. A lot of big things in the works. I think it'd be a great opportunity for everyone, and I'm looking to being here and maybe possibly doing a live show in the future. Who knows?
Absolutely. Here's the thing, too. Today we're going to talk about a lot of things, but you talk about trips. You talk about, making golf trips for the winter. You're talking about places like Texas. You talk about places like New Mexico that's open year-round, Arizona. Some great golf courses here in the Southwest. And, my friends in the Midwest listening to the show every single week want to know, where can we go next? Someplace different they want to go. Well, I think Billy may have the answer for you at this Horseshoe Bay Resort in Horseshoe Bay, Texas, and sounds like it's going to be a great, great time.
Yes, it's going to be a great time for anybody. We get top-notch places to visit for our listeners, and Horseshoe Bay Resort is one of the top-notches. It is incredible. Highly recommended, Biggs.
And, we try to give a variety of different places for you to visit, hence is why Billy travels a lot, and I will be traveling to this resort as well soon, but Billy is there, and we're going to have different aspects of the resort on the show today, all the way from talking about the science of the course as far as the agronomy goes.
Yeah, and that's the first one ever that's going to be on our show, Big. So that's how we're going. I mean, this course, talking to Ken, who's going to be one of the guests that we have, you would think about, oh my God, what is that? Is science of the golf and blah blah blah. It's incredible because it all leads to having good fairways, perfect greens, and everything going the right way when you can level off everything that you need to in his particular field. And he's been amazing watching him work out on the golf because he works. He truly is out there on a golf course doing his thing and testing stuff out and visiting where all the construction and the healing and everything is going. So his job is not easy.
Yeah, it sounds like it's not easy. You got to make sure the dirt is right, the grass is right. Everything. And I actually want to ask him the question too, because it's always bothers me. I always hear this thing about you don't need to repair divot marks, in the rough, and I'm like, so I want to ask him the proper way to do that. We all know, or we should know, the proper way to repair ball marks on the greens.
Yes,
So
and I'm sure he could help us with that because there's a correct way, there's a wrong way, and depending on the variations of greens on how you should fix a divot.
Yes, I agree. All right, Billy, it is that time. It is that time for the Ultimate PGA Tour Book of Trivia and the trivia question of the week.
All right, hit me with it.
From what does the term mulligan derive from?
Term that mulligan derives from? I don't know. Mulligan. Well, we all know.
Well, we all heard the term mulligan. I'm going to take a mulligan.
We know what it is. So we're trying to figure out where it originated?
Yes.
Usually in life, everything is named after the person that created it. So is it the person's name?
Yes, it is a person's name.
It is a person's name. So was it either his first name or his last name must have been Mulligan, and he came up with the stuff that he kept hitting shots like so many of our friends do, and they named it after him.
Well, here is the official answer. According to the USGA, the most widely accepted origin is credited to a Canadian, David Mulligan, who re-teed a shot at the St. Lambert Country Club in Montreal in the 1920s.
Oh, wow.
David Mulligan is getting credited for that term, mulligan.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense to me.
That's according to the USGA source. So there you go.
All right. There we go. I'll have a mulligan. Thank you very much. Give me another. Awesome.
So you're experiencing all this at Horseshoe Bay Resort. And I noticed they have a spa there. Did you visit the spa?
Yes. I'm going to visit the spa. I didn't have time for the treatment. I didn't have that at all because, the schedule's kind of steep and everything.
And I know you want to experience all the food because I'm noticing they have quite a few choices of food places to enjoy a great dinner, lunch, whatever the case might be. How's the keto diet going while you're in Texas?
It was actually great, Biggs. It really was because the foods that they had for us, all you got to do is stay away from the meats. They had your favorite bacon. You know what I mean? So they had plenty of meats, plenty of fish. So there was plenty of shrimp, plenty of fish. I mean, one lunch was strictly all fish. I mean, they had crab, and then for dinner, lobster, chicken and lobster tails. I mean, yeah. So it was really easy avoiding the potatoes and the starches and all the other stuff, because they had plenty of protein and everything else. So it really wasn't difficult. It was difficult staying away from all those desserts. That was the difficult. Yes, because they put on a spread for every meal, whether it was lunch, dinner, the only thing that, even breakfast, because breakfast had, they had tons of Danishes and stuff like that. But that was the most difficult part. But I just, I didn't even go anywhere near it. Once I did slip and I had a piece of, because it was like crack. It was, it was this coconut cream pie.
Oh yeah. Banana cream pie, coconut cream pie. Yes.
Oh my God. And I hadn't seen it in years. Right. And it was fresh. They're not store-bought and frozen and made from somewhere else and brought in. These things, they have top-notch chefs there, and they're making this stuff fresh, and it was so good, Big. So I did have a spoon of that, but, I did resist the rest. And coconuts are fruits. Well, I don't care. I'm going to make it a vegetable, so I'm all right.
There you go. All right.
Yep.
So we have a great show today. It's going to be featured around the Horseshoe Bay Resort. Billy has experienced. I mean, we have to do a whole show about it because there's so much information. I mean, this thing is huge.
Yes.
So we have to have different departments on this show to talk about and to cover so you can make an educated decision on whether you want to take your trip there. And we hope you do, because from my understanding, it's just a gorgeous place. And, also, Billy, you and I got a chance to talk off the phone, talk during the week and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But their service is just phenomenal, you say.
Yes, it is. It's top-notch, Biggs. I mean, from every place you want to go to, whether it's the spa, they have a kiddie jungle, which we haven't even touched on. And I don't think we're going to have enough time to touch on everything on the show, Biggs. But they have a kiddie jungle. I got to go behind the scenes and see tortoises. I didn't know what the difference was tortoise and turtles. Now I do. One's land, one's sea. But I mean, 100-pound tortoise. I got to play with and hang out with birds, different parrots. It was amazing. There is so much there. There is no way we can cover everything in one show. So we're going to be revisiting Horseshoe Bay for sure.
All right. We're going to head into our first break. When we come back on Power with Amanda, we'll be next. And then we're going to get into the show and find out all the information about Horseshoe Bay Resort in Horseshoe Bay, Texas. We'll be right back right after this.
Hey everyone, Biggs Golf Talk is now on iHeartRadio. Download the app for free or go to iHeart.com and search for Biggs Golf Talk. Be sure to save us as a favorite so that you'll know when we're on. Join the millions of iHeartRadio listeners and listen to Biggs Golf Talk. Golf Talk for golfers.
The United States Golf Challenge, sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka, is in its 5th season of identifying the best two-person amateur teams in the country. 8 teams and 4 flights in 2 age divisions represent Team USA in a Ryder Cup-style competition with their international counterparts in the King's Cup. We're looking for amateur golfers like you. The King's Cup is played in honor of golf's greatest ambassador, Mr. Arnold Palmer, whose honesty, integrity, sportsmanship, and commitment to excellence represent the ideals for which the game of golf is known. The road to the King's Cup begins with a local qualifier. Over 100 local qualifiers will be conducted throughout the U.S. beginning in February. By finishing in the top 30% of their local qualifier, teams earn their way into the USGC Kings Cup National Qualifier. The USGC is also looking for golf courses to host qualifiers. For information or to search for a local qualifier, the USGC website is www.usgolfchallenge.com.
This is a commercial for golfers. Take the next step to improving your game with ShotScope and discover your strengths and weaknesses. Analyze statistics on your clubs, tee shots, approaches, short game, and putting. ShotScope V2 is the golf watch that combines GPS distances with automatic performance tracking. Once you have it, you won't want to play around without it. Check out ShotScope.com to take your game to the next level.
It's time for commentary, opinion, and controversy. On Par with Amanda. And here's the golf diva, Amanda Robertson.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to On Par with Amanda. Thanks for tuning in to Big's Golf Talk. Always great to be here week after week, and make sure you are subscribing and tuning in and listening every week for more and exciting news in the golf world. So let's dive right in. There is so much golf drama going on right now. A lot having to do with players and being disqualified and just some controversial stuff going on with some integrity involved as well. So I want to touch on a few of those little things and see what you guys think. So first off, I want to start with the LPGA. So there was a little bit of controversy. So everyone knows top 10 players on the money list secure their LPGA cards for the following year. And there was a little bit of issue because one of the young gals, she thought the Pro-Am began at 9 a.m. and she got to the course like 20 minutes late because she thought it was at 9, but it was actually at 8. And so the rule is if you get out to the Pro-Am and get out and make it before the second hole starts with your group, then you just get a $500 fine, but you have to play in that Pro-Am. It's required to then play in the LPGA event that week. And so she just continued to try to make it out to the hole. She didn't make it, and she, in fact, was forced to withdraw from the actual tournament. So she didn't play at LPGA International, but she came 10th on the money list, even without playing in that tournament. And so she got her card, and a lot of people are having a little bit of issue with this because some of the girls are frustrated. She didn't even play in this event, and yet she secured her card. Now, I can see both ways. I mean, I get it. It's frustrating. She didn't follow through, but she's human. Things happen. We've talked about numerous things over, this year about, mistakes. Lexi Thompson and the passports and, people doing things not on purpose, not intentionally, but it does affect a lot of people. And unfortunately in golf, that's kind of what it comes down to. Your actions do affect others. With that said, she played so well that even without playing in that last event, she was still 10th in the money. And so, she kind of prepped and had room for error, just like you play really well so that way it doesn't come down to the wire. And luckily she fell in that 10th spot and was able to secure her card. So just kind of an interesting odd one. She was forced to withdraw, but it wasn't intentional. Obviously she wasn't trying to get out of the Pro-Am. She just honestly thought it started at 9. So I would love to hear your thoughts on that. So that was just a quick piece I wanted to chat about. Now, here are a few other things that have really been catching my attention. Are all the disqualifications for kind of weird stuff. Obviously nobody intends on being disqualified. So one of the players, so this is an interesting one. In Spain, Scott Gregory, he was playing in the first round in Madrid, and he is an amateur champion. He has played at high levels. He has fought through Q school, all of this stuff. He's been struggling, and he hadn't made a cut in, I think, 17, 18 starts. And so he's just struggling, which any golfer, whatever level you play at, you go through this. And, you always pay attention when I'm looking at a scoreboard. I always look and see if, who withdrew, who got disqualified. Like, you just look at the bottom of the list and those players are out. And you don't expect to see that by anybody's name. But in this case, in Spain, there was a disqualification next to Gregory. And it wasn't automatically, we think wrong scorecard signing, or we think he did, he broke a rule and you get disqualified. Just a lot of stuff going on like that. And in fact, it wasn't. He even stated, he said, I haven't been DQ'd for anything. It was really more of a withdrawal. He said, I've been battling some serious mental demons with my game, and on and off the tee, I've been struggling, and I just kind of fell apart, and he ended up struggling to pull the trigger and, to kind of continue the round. And he said, it's not fair for my players, my playing partners, with the speed that I was playing and having this issue mentally and being able to hit good shots off the tee, and he was just kind of a disaster. He said, I'm never one to quit, and this is the first and last time in my career it will actually happen. And he makes that statement. But he said, thanks for all your support, and I hope to come back stronger once I've got the help that I need. But what's interesting to me is that he had a disqualification next to his name, not a withdrawal. And that's what he said. He said it's definitely more of a withdrawal when you walk away. He didn't break a rule. He didn't get disqualified. And he's looking out for his playing partner. So back when we were talking about Sergio having all of these issues that he was going through, my biggest pet peeve was that he was affecting his playing partners. He was letting his actions potentially ruin someone else's chance at playing well. And that's my biggest pet peeve with golf. You have to be a little bit selfish, of course, and take care of yourself. It is an independent sport, but you also have to be a little selfless when your actions are now affecting those that you're playing with. So, having the yips or having nerves or having some mental struggles, and like he quotes, some demons that you're facing on the tee box, he knows that that's affecting the guys that he's playing with, and it makes for a really long day for your playing partners to kind of sit and watch you yip it around and struggle. And so he chose, I can't do this, and I'm going to choose to remove myself from this. So, he said it was his only option to walk away. He said, I can't put that on them. So I respect that. I do. I know some people are giving him, some heat over this, and I want to know what you guys think, because I think, coming from the perspective of looking out for others and also kind of protecting himself, sure, there's no harm in saying that. But he's being the bigger person and saying, look, he's never done this before. It's not a repeat incident where every time he plays bad, he pulls out. None of that. Absolutely none of that. So, I don't know. I really struggle here, because the game obviously is the toughest one out there. And so I've been out there, and I've played in rounds where you literally want to walk off the golf course, but you stick it through. So it's hard, because you want to withdraw, you want to walk away, you want to protect the players that you're playing with, but you also don't want to be a quitter. And so I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about Gregory and what's going on. And also, let me know, have you ever been in that situation? Have you ever been playing a golf round that you just wanted to quit, but you actually stuck it through, even though it was awful or something was wrong? I'd love to hear that. I often hear those stories from pros, but I want to hear from some AMs as well. And, it's not just something we battle, but it's something that I think every golfer battles. So definitely, keep me posted, and I want to hear. So write in. So one more thing about weird disqualifications. So we all know golf is about honesty, integrity, and we hope that the people playing in it have that, ability to kind of do what's right. So, high school. Now we think of high schoolers, they're young, they're, learning the ropes. So young high school golfer, she's playing in a tournament and she's eating lunch, and she realized her name is Parrott, her last name, and after eating lunch, she noticed that the live scoring app had her at +3 for the tournament when really she was +4. So she thought it was like an issue with the app, which is okay, but when she went back to check it, it in fact was her fault for signing a wrong scorecard. And don't you know, this poor girl, her heart just dropped. Now, here is the kicker. She was going to finish on the podium here at state finals. But instead, by turning herself in and being honest, because she could have just continued at +3 and, took home, a pretty great victory to finish in the top. And she didn't. She turned herself in and obviously was disqualified. So she unofficially finished 6th. And they were playing in Carmel, Indiana, at Prairie View Golf Course, which is where Biggs Golf Talk has done live shows from. And, it was her dream in the 3rd state finals appearance to finish on the podium with a top 10 for the first time. And she did it. She technically did it. But obviously, with the scoring and the issue. But here's the biggest thing for me. A high schooler who really didn't have to tell anyone, didn't have to say, I probably could just get away with this. It's not a big deal. It's one shot. I've never finished in the top. All of these things had to have been going through her head. But what's so cool here is that no matter what, she said, golf is a game of integrity, and I can't be okay with just letting this slide. So, and she even said there was no way that anyone else would have known. No one would have known. And, you sign your scorecard, you turn it in, you move on, and no one knows anything. So it's a tough position, but she made the right decision, and it's a very hard one. And obviously, it makes me happy to see young golfers already being instilled with integrity and honesty in the game and keeping it what it should be. And so that's such a cool story. And I love stuff like this. And I wish her nothing but the best moving forward. And I know that she will get far by just continuing to be the person that she obviously is. And it's just so cool to see, like I said, young golfers already understanding what golf is all about. So lots to be talked about on Biggs Golf Talk, and hopefully we'll throw some of this stuff up in a roundtable next week. But I absolutely want to hear from you guys. I love getting messages from you. I love getting emails from you. So write into biggsgolftalk@gmail.com. It's BIGGS, Biggs Golf Talk. Or you can DM me on Instagram. It's A Robertson Golf. I love to hear from you guys, like I said, and I will reply and I will talk about your responses on the show. And I just want to get a lot of cool stories from you because I like to hear other people's opinions, even though you sit and listen to mine week after week. So I appreciate everyone listening in, and let's talk some golf. So until next time, keep swinging for par.
That was a great segment by Amanda Robertson. Keep swinging for par, people. Keep swinging for par. On Par with Amanda, sponsored by Backswing Golf Events. Listen, folks, if you're looking for classy ladies to come and raise money for your event or your charity, as a matter of fact, BackswingGolfEvents.com is the only place you need to go to and book these lovely ladies for your event to raise money and entertain the golfers in your event. Backswing Golf Events is the place for your event today.
Having a corporate or charity golf event? Backswing Golf Events can supply your tournament with personable, professional golfers to entertain and fundraise on the golf course. They can accommodate any size group, whether it be 3 players to 500. They are your team. From range lessons, Beat the Pro, and Pro-Am style roaming, they're making lasting memories one swing at a time. So make sure to check out BackswingGolfEvents.com or call us direct at 661-316-3093 and book your pros now.
In the folded flag, we see the heavy price of freedom. Nearly 9 out of 10 dependents of America's fallen and disabled soldiers do not qualify for federal scholarship assistance. The Folds of Honor closes that gap, already providing over 10,000 scholarships. Join us in this noble mission. Donate today at foldsofhonor.org. This is your call to duty.
Golf is a dirty game. It's time to clean it up with Ready Pot, the only putter cover with a built-in ball cleaner and magnetic surface. Clean balls roll accurately, meaning you make more putts. Sink more, swear less. Clean up your game with Ready Pot.
This is Big's Golf Talk with Big John Vick and Bill the GolfFather Cuebas.
Welcome back to Big's Golf Talk right here on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Native Family Radio, and all your smart home devices. That's a great segment by the golf diva Amanda Robertson, and boy, oh boy, we could have used a roundtable discussion about that topic, but instead, Bill, the GolfFather Cuebas, as we talked about in the Open, is in Austin, Texas, at Horseshoe Bay Resort. And Billy, how's everything going out there, bud?
It's going awesome, but you know Horseshoe Bay is so big that it's Horseshoe Bay, Texas.
Yes,
it's 45 minutes outside of Austin, really close to the airport. It's a great destination place for anybody that's golfing, and you don't even have to leave the course. But yeah, so it's right out there. It's a beautiful place. So yeah, it's just 45 minutes out of Austin, but it's actually called Horseshoe Bay. So it has its own community and everything, which is awesome. Own police department, own fire department. I've traveled the whole entire part over there, looking at all it had to offer, which is a lot.
Well, they have courses like Slick Rock, Apple Rock, Ram Rock, Summit Rock, Whitewater Course, which is a putting course, and so much stuff we're going to talk about here in this show today, including their great golf academy that they have there and everything else. But first, let's talk about the designer. Featured in the Dallas Morning News, 50 best courses in Texas, list every year since 1989. They celebrated Resort is home to 3 spectacular and challenging Robert Trent Jones Sr. designed golf courses. A true pioneer, Jones Sr. has designed some of the most legendary golf courses in the world, including Spyglass Hill at Pebble Beach, experiencing the stunning layouts and challenging holes carved out of the Texas Hill country terrain. From the scenic lake views and a rocky terrain at Apple Rock to the narrow fairways and rolling Crenshaw bentgrass greens at Ram Rock to the $1 million hole at Slick Rock. The 3 championship golf courses at Horseshoe Bay Resort capture the spirit of Texas golf. Well, Robert Trent Jones trusts nothing but the best when it comes to agronomy. The director of agronomy joining us here on Big's Golf Talk, Ken Goriski, is joining us here on Big's Golf Talk. Ken, welcome into Big's Golf Talk, my friend.
Hey, thank you for having me.
And I must say, This is the first time we've ever had anybody regarding agronomy here on Big's Golf Talk, so you are the first.
Well, maybe he should tell our guests what it is exactly, so they know exactly what he talks about.
Well, agronomy is I'm the director of agronomy, which means I'm maintaining all of the golf courses. So agronomy is the science of soils, and for some reason, turfgrass and golf course maintenance falls under the agronomy department. So there you go. We're excited to be on your show. I didn't realize I was the first agronomist on the show, but hopefully I won't be the last.
Yeah, hopefully not. Because after playing your courses out there and seeing the conditions of them, and you guys been doing upgrades to your courses for a couple of years now. I've got all the different stages of how they go. Which course of the four is the most recent upgrades?
The most recent is the Apple Rock course. So we just opened up Apple Rock the end of July. It's only been opened after the renovation about 2 months. We're still in the process of working on some irrigation system and getting all of the construction scars healed up, but it's coming along very nicely. We're very excited about the results of the renovation, and you're proof in the pudding there. You played the golf course, Bill, and
yes.
So you know what we're talking about. You can comment on it probably better than I can.
Yeah, and the thing is, I know you say that you had some scars, as you had called them, but they were minimal scars. You put a lot of Mederma on them because they were healing really, really nicely, and you could barely tell. And honestly, they didn't affect play in the least. I mean, nothing that you were doing came into play. The greens were amazing. Each course that you have, including Apple Rock, which you made the most recent upgrades to, they all have their own different characteristics. They're all different. Every course that we played on was totally different. 1 minute, I think Apple Rock is Apple Rock or Ram Rock the alleged toughest golf course?
Ram Rock is known to be the toughest of the bunch.
So
it's known to be the toughest in Texas for many years. So
Ram Rock was the one that you suggested that we actually move up a tee because of the way it played. That course, for some reason, I don't know how, it did play long. Yeah, it did play us long, and I think only because I think 90% of us, it was the first time we were playing it. Nobody really knew where to cut, what direction, where was the best plan of attack. But we still have some guys that threw up some really good numbers. And I think one thing that I enjoyed on every single course was that the greens, for the most part, they were all the same. They almost all ran the same. They all have the same grass. Correct me if I'm wrong, which is the bent grass that you have.
That's correct. Yeah, we've got the 007 variety of bent grass on all four of our golf courses now that we've completed this renovation.
Now, isn't that tough for your kind of area? That's something that's normally not inside of Texas, correct?
No, it's not typical, especially in the southern part of Texas. There's some in the north part of Texas. A lot of those areas have gone to Bermuda grass, but our ownership feels there's a real value in having bent grass greens here, and we've always had bent grass greens at Horseshoe Bay, and we want a value that goes with that. And yeah, it's harder to maintain and it's more difficult during the summers, but we feel like it's worth the effort and expense to
I think
keep bent grass on property.
What I liked was that the starters, when you took off, they didn't know who was who, but each starter from every place that we went, they gave a quick 2-second lesson on how to fix the grass. Because most people will go in there with their divot tool and start popping up and doing all crazy things with it. And he actually told us, put it to the outside, pull it in, outside in, outside in, outside in. And it worked beautifully. And you could see that people are actually paying attention to them, for if you can get 90% of the people to actually fix a divot on the green, you're ahead of the game. And I think that attributes because you have a lot of members that play there as well. So they understand that, hey, we're going to take care of our course because this is our course. And you can tell it stands out because most of the greens, you won't see those because I play in a lot of bent grass areas. And you can see when somebody doesn't fix their divot the right way. You see that brown circle patch, where the grass is not growing and it could take forever to grow. You don't see that on your courses, which I really enjoyed. They ran true. They weren't bumping. I think one out of the four looked like it might have been irrigated maybe a month ago. So you could see little hints of that, but it wasn't really, it had no effect on anything. Everything was growing. Everything was running the same speed, which I like that. Anybody that goes to any kind of resort, and that's one of the biggest complaints that I've heard, is that, this course was running at a 13. This one's running at a 9. This one's running on this. This has different grass. This one's running this way. And you guys take all of that out because you're going to have that consistency. And that's what people want. Even though they're playing a different course, the greens, for some reason, people want to have that consistency.
Each golf course, like you said, has a different character to it. Mm-hmm. But we want, and everybody's going to have their own preference of which course they like best. Our slick rock courses are probably our most forgiving and easiest course, and that golf course is our member favorite course. We get more play on the slick rock course than we do on the others, just because they enjoy it's not as challenging, and it
makes for a great time.
Everybody has a good time on it. We made some. Even though Ramrock is an extremely hard golf course from the back tees, we made a concerted effort to make the golf course much more playable for the higher handicappers without affecting the difficulty for the low handicappers. So we adjusted some bunkers and some landing areas that affected the higher handicapper and didn't affect the lower handicapper, and we adjusted those to give more forgiving landing areas for the higher handicapper. So Ramrock has become a more of a favorite of our membership than it was prior to the renovation.
Yeah, and it shows. It's difficult but fair, because when we took your advice, we played the 3 dots, which I like. I like the fact there was no colors on your tees. Everything their bigs was by a dot. So 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot. So it took away all that stereotypical stuff. Oh, I'm playing from the tips. I'm playing from this. I'm playing the women's tees. It took all that away. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. You play to your thing. It has the yardages. You gave the best recommendation ever when you said, hey, this is 63. You might want to move up a little bit. And we did. We took your advice. There was no I could play that. And if anybody did, they moved up. So because
and we even have combo yardages on the scorecards. We've got combo yardages to where if you want to play something in between, one's a little long and one may be a little short, you can play a combination of the two and get something in the middle. So we've only got 4 sets of tee markers out there, but we've got the course rated from about 7 different areas if you play the combo. So you can kind of dial it in and tailor it however you want to play it.
And for a tough course, I think it's fair.
And I think more courses need to move to the hybrid tee boxes, because a lot of courses here in New Mexico do that. Twin Warriors does that. Santa Ana certainly does that. The golf course I just golfed at this past week with Twin Peaks, they have that as well. The Canyon Club. I actually, when I golf on Wednesdays with the Money League, I actually golf from the hybrid tees, because there's just some holes that just not fair, but there's other holes that does suit my handicap. So I think more courses need to move to that handicap and that type of tee boxes where they do have those combo tees. One thing I wanted to touch on before this interview was done was, now that I have an agronomist here on BiGGs Golf Talk, we need a definite answer, because, Bill, you have heard this too, as far as repairing or replacing divots in the rough. Do you replace divots in the rough, or don't you replace divots in the rough?
Well, if it comes out at a and holds together, then it's worthwhile replacing it. If it doesn't, then either knock the edges together and kick the edges together and smooth it out, or put some sand and divot mix in. You can do either one, but if the divot doesn't come out whole and you're just putting just fragments of a divot back in, then you're better off just filling it with divot mix and let it grow back in.
So either way,
if you do fill them in, don't overfill them,
right?
Because that tears up the mowers, and you want to keep those level. And the purpose of adding divot mix back in, for the most part, is so when the divot heals in, it heals back in level and smooth rather than down in a depression.
There you go. Well, that's a great explanation, because either way, Billy, the answer is yes. Fix it some sort of way. So there you go.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly. Yes, fix the divot.
Because you always hear on the golf course, you don't have to fix the rough. No, I mean, what's the difference between not fixing the rough and I mean, it's a grass. It's part of the golf course. Fix it. Jesus.
Yeah. I do it.
Yeah.
I like filling it in. I got one more quick question for Ken. Ken, you said filling it up, which I always fill up my divots with soil mix, whatever they put inside the carts. And you said you wanted to grow even. I usually put it, and I might be wrong, but I usually fill it level. So when I get my divot mix, I fill it level to where the grass is, so it doesn't hurt anybody where they underfill it and it rolls. Is that wrong way to fill it? Should I put less in it? So
that's perfect. You want to fill it level, and usually just step on it or smooth it out with your foot. When you walk off, so it's not heaped up and mounded up.
Exactly. That's how I like doing it, because I don't want anybody else to get stuck in my hole.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you underfill it, that'll stop. That'll help somebody's ball stop there, and then I don't want to.
But then again, Billy, there's those golf courses that don't put the filler mixes on the carts, and there's no filler mix around.
No, they don't want you to even touch it.
You take a fairway shot, and all of a sudden you're hitting rooster tails, as a divot.
Yeah.
So, Ken, what do you do then?
Well, I would either take my club and knock the edges in and try to smooth it out, or kick the edges in with the toe of your shoe, so you can smooth that area out without. If you don't have any mix to put back in it. I mean, that's what we did in the old days when we had steel spikes. You would kick those edges in the divot, smooth that area out. You kind of kick the grass back into place and stretch it and kind of fill it in and smooth it out that way. You can do the same thing with tapping the edges with your golf club, or using the toe of your shoe to kick it in, and you can accomplish the same thing. The objective is to try to get it as smooth as you can, so when the grass grows back in, it's not down in a depression.
There you go. There's your golf tip of the week right there. We're gonna have our golf product of the week. There's your golf tip of the week right there from Ken Goriski, Director of Agronomy here on Biggs Golf Talk. Ken, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, I appreciate y'all having me. Look forward to visiting with y'all in the future.
Absolutely. All right, more Biggs Golf Talk coming your way with Bill's visit to Horseshoe Bay Resort. We'll be right back right after this.
Early to rise, went through the pregame routine. Hit drives for more than just show. Yelled 4 to warn for balls unseen, and approached with a long way to go. Time to make the turn. First half is done. Time to make the turn. More fun to come. If only we had more gizmos and gadgets, we might not have been sat in the sand. The cart girls' drinks strained our budgets, but we got a birdie in the hand. Time to make the turn. First half is done. Time to make the turn. More fun to come, yeah. Head to the clubhouse for a quick pit stop. Add up damage from the front nine. Get food and drink, and we're not talking pop. Head out knowing the back will be fine. Time to make the turn. First half is done. Time to make the turn. More fun to come, yeah. Time to make the turn. First half is done. Time to make the turn. More fun to come, yeah.
A golf ball that performs for you. The Encore Avant 55, hot off the tee, a formulated core that delivers more energy and utilizes soft cell technology to achieve ultra-low 55 compression. This blend of innovation and simplicity provides more distance and greater feel. The Caliber, maximum accuracy. A patent hollow metal core creates significant rifle spin while reducing side spin, allowing the ball to travel along a straighter trajectory. The Encore Elixir Tour Ball, hot list winner. The premium cast urethane cover delivers a soft and pure feel off the club face and gives the Elixir ultimate greenside control, durability, and unmatched putting performance. Be sure to check out their combo packages and sign up for the loyalty program. Gift cards are also available. For more information, their website is www.encoregolf.com. And be more with Encore.
Golf Dots is a unique, high-resolution ink transfer to personalize your golf game. Golf balls, golf shoes, clubs, Golf Dots can personalize it for you. Golf Dots conforms to USGA rules and doesn't alter the trajectory of your golf ball. Tour proven on all major tours, Golf Dots is designed and made in America. Many styles to choose from that will fit every golfer's personality. New styles are being released on a regular basis. To order your Golf Dots, visit www.golfdots.com and enter promo code BIGJOHN15. That's Big John, BIGGJON 15 for a discount on your Golf Dots. Golf Dots is available in many golf shops, such as the PGA Tour Superstore. The website for Golf Dots is www.golfdots.com. That is golf.dots.com, or call 847-829-4238. Personalize your golf game today with Golf Dots.
Golf Talk for golfers on Big's Golf Talk. Back to Bill the GolfFather Cuebas and Big John Vick.
As we tee it up and make the turn here on number 10, Big's Golf Talk on Native Family Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, TuneIn, and all your smart home devices. Bill the GolfFather Cuebas with Big John Vick. And Billy, you experiencing the full experience at Horseshoe Bay Resort in Horseshoe Bay, Texas. And being in Texas, I got to ask you, man, did you get yourself a cowboy hat?
Well, you know what? Not for nothing. Even though we were there and everything was all fun, I think Horseshoe Bay had a cowboy convention during our stay there, because the other night there was cowboys everywhere. And they had some big hats. Everybody had and it made me jealous, Big, because I want a big hat. So, I don't know. I need me some cowboy boots and a big hat.
There you go. Now, Billy, you experienced 4 of the golf courses that they have there: Slick Rock, Apple Rock, Ram Rock, Summit Rock. Obviously, you experienced the putting course at Whitewater Course. I got to ask you, man, do you have a favorite course that you enjoyed the most?
Well, the easiest for me was the whitewater course. Yeah, I knocked out the lights out of that one. But honestly, every course Biggs was totally different. They each had their own. For me, I don't know if I play it all the time, but I noticed everything that was totally different. Each course played differently. Each course had its own difficulties. Each course had its own risk reward. I believe my two favorite was Slick Rock and Summit Rock, and only because Ram Rock and Apple Rock really beat me up. So, but I still had a good time on them. So Slick Rock, I think, was the easiest course for me to play.
Okay.
And Biggs, all the courses are open. They're not like the courses that you normally see where they're not open and you got to worry about hitting a house or you're going to do this, you're going to do that. No, none of that comes into play there. It's challenging because on some of the courses you have to actually look at your yardage book. You can't just go up there and grab your driver every time. Sometimes we were clubbing down, playing to yardages, which is actually the smart way to play, and they force you to play that. But Biggs, the views and the scenery that there and all the renovations, which our next guests are going to be able to talk more about, and then I'll share my experiences. But they do have a $1 million sort of kind of waterfall that they did for their renovations, and it is breathtaking. Well, I mean, it was my favorite, Biggs. I took my time. So let's get our guests in.
I'm looking forward to seeing that waterfall picture. But Horseshoe Bay Resort, Texas Lake and Hill Country, they say tee off in Texas, discover why we're one of America's best golf resort. Well, we have the director of golf at Horseshoe Bay Resort on with us. Anthony Holders joining us on the line right now. And Anthony, I'm just going to come out and ask you, why are you guys America's best golf resort?
Oh man, there's a lot of reasons. Couple of things. The golf course, the variety of golf course, is pretty much unparalleled in the state of Texas. We got 3 Robert Trent Jones senior golf courses that really kind of capture the hill country vistas and some of the rock outcroppings and the beautiful lake setting. So and completely, as Bill mentioned earlier, just completely different golf courses. You never feel like you're playing the same golf course. Each has its unique characteristics. And then you couple that product with Southern hospitality and the service side of it. Everyone's genuine. Everyone's welcoming, firm handshake, a good look in the eye. Everyone wants to help you out. Man, that's the dynamic duo is the product and the service. You put those together, and it makes for a great experience.
Biggs,
go ahead, Bill.
Biggs, real quick. He said a firm handshake. Anthony is not lying. And most people talk about firm handshake, Biggs. I'm talking about the women. I have never met Biggs, we go to shake a woman's hand.
Absolutely.
It's more like, we're going to be all gentle. The women in Texas do not shake like the women of the rest of the world. These girls, they got the kung fu grip going on, and they grab your hand and they squeeze. And I'm like, wow. And they all had that grip, Biggs. It was incredible. So when he's talking about firm, it's firm.
Well, Billy, I'll tell you, I asked him the question, why is he America's golf resorts? Well, they say the myth is if you have a strong handshake grip and you look an individual in the eye, it shows that you're successful and you're confident.
They
have that. They have that going on, Biggs. And you know what was unique? He says service out there. They all were smiling. And it didn't matter if it was the 21-year-old girl bringing you your breakfast or anything else. She shook your hand, greeted you, looked in your eye. They were very attentive. And in Biggs, this is the truth. We've gone to places, and if they're not the person servicing your table, trying to get somebody to help you is like nothing. And this place, you don't have one waitress. You might have somebody that took your order, but somebody's bringing you drinks, somebody's checking up on you, and then you got another person coming through. And then, is the food okay? Do you want another drink? You want this? People walking. Everybody is attentive to every area, which I loved.
Anthony, I say this all the time. that service goes a long way. So when you guys, did all your renovations and all that stuff, how important is it to Horseshoe Bay Resort that service is at that top number one?
Oh, it's the top priority. Absolutely. We're in the business of creating memories and experiences, and you do that through the way of service. What is nice is to have the product to complement it, right? To be able to have a product that is desirable. But service has always been number one priority for us. That is where we focus. That is where we invest a lot of time in training, setting expectations. So that is top of mind all the time. And we always say it's the return on relationships, right? In business, you're always going to have a few shortfalls here and there, but it's establishing those relationships and creating those experiences that, will overshadow that. Well, so it's number one for us.
Shortfalls is a part of business. No matter where you go, especially being at a resort, you're always going to have somebody that's not happy. So here's the thing, though. To me, I used to be a night manager at a hotel way back in a previous life. To me, it was the way I responded to that customer that was not happy with a solution to them not being happy. How important is that to you when you have an unhappy client and you have a positive response for that client?
Oh, Big, as you know, man, if you're receiving feedback or a complaint about a negative experience, they're giving you the opportunity to win them over again. It's like a second chance, right? So that's extremely important. What defines us is when we're faced with challenges or we're faced with obstacles. It's how we respond to those that defines us as a culture, as an experience, as hospitality. So, we always try to mitigate the shortfalls, right? We're always striving for perfection. But as you know, perfection is almost unattainable is unattainable in the hospitality industry. But it's how we respond to that and how quick we respond to that and try not to, make those mistakes over again. So you're exactly right, man. To me, that's really what defines your culture and your experience is how do you respond to those situations and how do you demonstrate care to that customer?
Absolutely.
Biggs,
yes.
Before I just want to mention real quick, yesterday I posted a press release that had come out and it awarded that Horseshoe Bay was in the top 100 resorts in North America by Golf Magazine. And I talked to a bunch of different. I talked to, what I like to do, and I do it all the time. I really don't, they gave us badges and stuff to identify us. I kind of rebel against it. Sometimes I wear it, sometimes I don't, because I want to mingle with guests, and I want to be fair. Where I want to know exactly, because people sometimes are like, well, you work for that media, so you have to say nice things. Well, no, we don't have to say nice things. We don't have to say bad things. But like, if we find something that can be constructive to you guys to help you out, say, hey, I talked to this person and this might have fallen short, or you might want to work. I think that's priceless. But the people there, Biggs, everybody was happy. I talked to everybody from all around different parts of the country that were there. You have people from California. You have people from Texas, from all over Texas that was in this resort, where if people aren't willing to even leave the state, that speaks volumes, that they're willing to hop on whatever they can, whether it's a boat or this or that. They get there. They love the resort. I didn't hear anything negative from anybody. Everybody was happy, whether they were at the bar, the breakfast buffet was amazing, the food, everything was simply top notch. The golf course, the people that were cleaning your clubs, the marshals, everybody was pleasant, and I got absolutely, for the first time on any trip, nobody had any complaints, Biggs.
That's great.
Yeah, that is great, and that just says a lot. And Bill, you're right, because a lot of times you and I travel, you travel separately, and we get people that come up to us, oh, you're the GolfFather, or you're big, hey, let me do this, let me do this, let me do this. They want to throw the world at us, and we want to actually experience as a normal person That way I could say to Anthony, this is what I experienced. I think this probably could be better if they responded like this instead of responding this way. And Anthony, I'm sure that's the stuff you want to hear because you do want to come as close as you can. You're not going to be perfect, but you're going to want to come as close as you can to being perfect.
No, you're exactly right. And that's, I think that's kind of been baked into our culture and experience here because we have a large membership as well. We're a dynamic property to where we have a membership of 2,000 members, right? Wow. And we also have resort guests and outside group, but those members are here day in and day out. And you know what? They're playing the course every single day, and they're interacting with our starters, our marshals, our rangers, our food and beverage attendants, our beverage cart, and we've got a great culture in which they bring that information back to us. And sometimes there's opportunities, but when we hear that and we respond to it, it just creates that open line of communication. So they're always giving us a pulse on our operation on things that could be better or we could improve upon, or state of flux. Man, we're always questioning what we're doing and what our processes are and what our procedures are. And we're not, just continuing with that just because that's the way it's been done. Everything's changing so fast in our society and, our lifestyles. And the only way to stay on the cutting edge of that is to be receptive to that feedback and to other people's perspective.
We've talked about service. Let's talk about product now. Let's talk about the golf courses itself. You just got finished going through a big renovation. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So we just finished up about $9 million was put into the golf asset here at Horseshoe Bay Resort. A total of $90 million plus for the entire campus. But, oftentimes you see where a big resort campus will undergo a huge renovation, and usually the golf course is kind of the last, the redheaded stepchild, doesn't get a lot of love. But that's not the case here, man. We got about $8 million just in the golf courses. That's not even mentioning the new pro shop, the pavilion, the clubhouse. You add those in, we're well north of $30-something million, which is a huge amount. So this renovation and this capital infusion has virtually hit every touch point on the golf course, from leveling the tee boxes to irrigation in the fairways to liners in the bunker to recontouring, recapturing the original green sizes, putting bent grass on all the greens, putting fans, retaining walls, you name it, man, continuous cart path. So we're so fortunate to have such an updated product. And like I said, the mission now is getting some exposure to that. But, these courses here are just, and you mentioned it earlier, Bill, Slick Rock has got some very unique characteristics with that $1 million hole. You got Summit Rock is just completely its own animal, right? It's cut out there on the bluff and through some nature, and got a lot of wildlife around here.
Yes,
so,
lots of deers.
Yeah, lots of deer and foxes and skunks. So it's it's kind of fun. It's almost like you feel like you're going through a zoo tour, but you're playing one of the greatest games ever while doing it.
It's funny you said that because one of your golf courses reminded me of my walks through Central Park. So honestly, Big, I felt like I was home.
Right.
I was driving around and the guys were like, wow, they got bridges and water everywhere. And I'm like, you know what? This thing is breathtaking. I was like, at that point, you almost, and I don't know if it's right or wrong because I don't know if there is a right answer. I almost forgot that I was golfing. It was so tranquil and it was so easy. And you're watching the deers run across the fairway and you got everything going on in this place. And I'm like, wow, I couldn't even believe that was a golf course. And I told I don't know who I was talking to, one of your people, and I was like, I just felt like I left the park. And they were like, you're spot on. That's exactly what it feels like when you're out there. I don't know how you guys did it, but it's perfect. You guys did it really, really well. All those runners, especially that $1 million hole. That $1 million hole. Biggs, you drive down into it, and you go over like this thing, and you drive over water. It's
it's cool.
Oh,
it's really cool.
You drive down, up, and over. It is amazing. And they were like, $1 million. I was like, well, look at how long it is. Look where it goes down. Because it deceives you when you first get onto it. You're looking at it from the top. You're like, okay, all you see is like a waterfall. But then as you drive down into it and you see all the intricacy down on the bottom, you're like, wow, I could see that. Hey, you got all cheap.
All right,
you guys did an amazing job.
So we have about 3 minutes here. So we have some important information we have to get to. Slick Rock. What's your signature hole on Slick Rock?
Signature hole is the $1 million hole, but I will tell you my favorite hole personally, number 17. Number 17 is about a 220-yard par 3. And you're hitting over this huge ravine water, and it's got a lot of lily pads in it, so it looks very kind of swampy, jungly type.
I got pictures of that. I love that hole. Yes.
Yeah,
I love that hole.
That's my favorite hole, man. And you're forced to hit a really good shot coming down the stretch, and the green's well guarded, and it's just visually just one of my favorite holes on Slick Rock.
Yeah, because you got water in the front, and on all sides, everything else around that green is everything else. It's beautiful. Next one, Biggie.
Apple Rock.
Apple Rock. Signature hole's number 10, and that's got to be my favorite hole. It is. Man, when you stand on that tee box, that is got to be the best view in the entire hill country of Texas.
But it's also, it's amazing up there. But do you think it's intimidating?
No, I like par 5s. I busted down there 300 yards, and I'm going to the green too.
But that's Anthony. Now, Anthony's not really a big guy, Biggs. He's not a big guy. So when you say he's busting it 300 yards, I'm like, wow, okay. We had some really big guys busting it a little bit less than 300 yards. But, I mean, that hole scared me with everything to all the sand bunkers on the left and all the trees to the right. So that hole thinned out. That was one of the thinner holes of the track for me.
Okay.
But it is a beautiful hole.
Okay.
All right, next one.
Ramrock.
Favorite hole, number 9. Once again, a par 5, and I love this hole. And Bill, I don't know if you'll remember. It's hard to remember all the holes, but number 9
dog-leg lefts.
Yeah, you got it. About a 90-degree turn. And you've got through the fairway, if you hit driver, you've got a big creek that you can drive it into. To the left of the fairway, you've got a big creek. Yeah. And so you have to position your tee shot down there. Now, the second shot is what I love. So those long hitters, it kind of makes them scale back. And now you can still go for it in 2, but, man, it is narrow up there. You've got a creek that runs down the left side, a creek down the right side, water behind the green, bunkers to navigate through. It's just you have to hit some good shots going in.
Very good shots.
All right, we got 60 seconds. Summit Rock.
Okay.
Summit Rock, man. Almost every single hole is my favorite.
I agree. The whole course.
Yeah. If I had to narrow it down, number 18. Once 18. Again, another par 5. It's brutal. It's got a ravine that goes through it. The green complex is beautiful. It's got a lot of undulation to the green. It's just a great setting to finish on your golf round.
Yes, well, there you go. I agree. There you go. Anthony Holder, Director of Golf at Horseshoe Bay Resort, thank you so much for joining us here on Biggs Golf Talk. And if people want to find out more information about all these courses and hole descriptions and things like that for these courses, how can they do so?
You can go to hsbresort.com. That's going to have all the information, all the contact information, all our latest packages and programming. You've got it all right there.
And hopefully you will see Biggs Golf Talk doing a live show from there soon. I know Billy's working on some stuff there, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in person, Anthony.
Hey, you as well, and thank you guys. It's an honor to be on here. I appreciate you having me on.
More Biggs Golf Talk coming your way. Coming up next, we're going to talk a little bit about events and more of Horseshoe Bay Resort. Right after this, we'll be right back.
Still using an old golf GPS watch? It's time to upgrade to ShotScope. ShotScope isn't just a golf watch, it's a fully automated golf performance tracking system on your wrist. ShotScope gives you access to over 100 tour-level statistics, get putting analysis, short game breakdown, even find out how far you're booming your driver. All data is captured automatically by the groundbreaking ShotScope golf performance tracking system. ShotScope, the ultimate golf watch. Find out more at shotscope.com.
The United States Golf Challenge, sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka, is in its 5th season of identifying the best two-person amateur teams in the country. 8 teams and 4 flights in 2 age divisions represent Team USA in a Ryder Cup-style competition with their international counterparts in the King's Cup. We're looking for amateur golfers like you. The King's Cup is played in honor of golf's greatest ambassador, Mr. Arnold Palmer, whose honesty, integrity, sportsmanship, and commitment to excellence represent the ideals for which the game of golf is known. The road to the King's Cup begins with a local qualifier. Over 100 local qualifiers will be conducted throughout the U.S. beginning in February. By finishing in the top 30% of their local qualifier, teams earn their way into the USGC King's Cup National Qualifier. The USGC is also looking for golf courses to host qualifiers. For information or to search for a local qualifier, the USGC website is www.usgolfchallenge.com.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see, every moment can be kind of special. But they can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments, it doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey, this is Boxer Shorts, and I've got some big news. BiGGs Golf Talk is now on iHeartRadio. You can download their app for free or go to iHeart.com and search for BiGGs Golf Talk. And make sure while you're there that you favorite us so that you'll know when we're on. Join all the other millions of listeners on iHeartRadio and listen to BiGGs Golf Talk. We're the best. Right.
Welcome back to BiGGs Golf Talk right here on Native Family Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, on your smart home devices, and on TuneIn. Don't forget about TuneIn, and be sure to favorite BiGGs Golf Talk so you can find out and get the notifications when BiGGs Golf Talk new show is on TuneIn. Big John Vick along with the GolfFather, Bill Cuebas. Bill Cuebas is in travels. He is currently in Horseshoe Bay, Texas. I keep on saying Austin, but that's where he flew into, Austin, Texas, and 45 minutes later, he's at Horseshoe Bay, which is a whole town in its own, as we have been talking about throughout this whole program, you know, talking with Ken and Anthony, and now we are going to be talking with the Director of Sales, James Gutierrez, and the GM here, Brian Woodward, is joining us here on BiGGs Golf Talk. And Billy, what a filled show, a guest-packed show, if you will, so far up to this point.
And you know what, Biggs? We're just scratching the surface. There is so much that I did out there, from the spa to the kiddie jungle that they have there, visiting the tortoises and the birds, the whitewater golf course. There is so much. There's no way, even in our 2-hour show, we can't cover everything. So we're lucky to have the 5 guests, for the rest of the show that we're going to have. It worked out perfect, but there's so much more. I interviewed the young lady that covers the spa, even the daycare portion. I interviewed her, and I got a video that I shot out there. So Biggs, there is a lot, and that's why we haven't even touched the food. And I'm a foodie guy, so we didn't touch the restaurant, the yacht club. There is so much to this place. We'd have to do about 4 or 5 shows just to cover it all, but we're at a good start right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, we have talked about the golf courses. We have talked about the renovations of the golf courses and how much money has gone into the golf courses. And just previously, we were told that throughout the whole Horseshoe Bay Resort, a $30 million renovation went into effect. And it kind of affects the whole resort, just not the golf part of it. But listen, if you're looking for a destination wedding, Horseshoe Bay Resort might be your answer. You're looking for a guy's trip for golf or whatever the case might be, you want to bring the wives, Horseshoe Bay Resort might be your answer because they have stuff for the ladies as well. Now, here to talk about, as I stated, is our guests, James and Brian, to talk about the other aspect of the resort. We're talking about the amenities, the rooms, the dining, the meetings, the spas, other stuff that they have going on, all the events that could be happening there at Horseshoe Bay Resort. It sounds like they could have everything under one umbrella, and that's what's so exciting, Bill.
And they can do it at multiple times with multiple events. I saw a huge corporate event there, and there's plenty of room for everybody. They got office space, they got, meeting rooms, they got everything there. Some of our guys that were on our trip, they went into their little corners. They have a nice little media center for us. They went in there. They're working on the computers out of the way from everybody. There is plenty of room, plenty of space to have multiple events going on. And it's just a great experience all around. I love the interaction with the other people as well.
So let me just ask this question to Brian. Let's start it off with Brian here on BiGGs Golf Talk. He is the general manager. Might as well start off with the top guy here on BiGGs Golf Talk and then go to the sales director of sales. But Brian, let me turn my direction to you. What makes Horseshoe Bay Resort unique compared to other resorts? We've been to many resorts, and it seems to me that Horseshoe Bay is right up at the GolfFather's top of the list there.
Yeah, I think what makes us unique is just our accessibility for anywhere in the country. Austin is pretty much dead center to anywhere you want to be. And so we get a lot of traffic from Chicago, the Midwest, Northeast, Arizona, California. So what we're seeing is just that accessibility as a, snowbird location, a great alternative to Florida. Arizona is right here in South Central Texas. So we're excited about that. But I think also, too, you mentioned the amenities, right? So we put $100 million in capital improvements across the resort. So I know you've talked about the golf, but we've also redone our spa. We have a marina with 300 boat slips. We have a new waterfront restaurant where, check this out, you can actually bring your boat and just pull right into the front of the restaurant and have lunch or dinner on the waterfront deck while your boat's parked right in front of you. It's really neat. We've got, the Bermuda Grass putting course for buddy trips. We've got the 360 Sports Club where there's 16 full-screen HD TVs where you can watch your favorite college or sports game right there, right next to the putting course, right in the heart of the action. So there really is something for everyone. And you mentioned weddings. Gosh, we do on our busy weekends like this one coming up, 4 to 5 weddings throughout the weekend. And so, it's a fun place to be. We're conveniently located next to Austin, Texas, which is one of those buzzing, thriving cities that everyone wants to be a part of. We're in the second weekend of ACL right now with big-time performers like The Cure and just so many neat bands performing. So we're excited. We drop $100 million into one of the best golf resorts in the United States and come out of it. And just like what you guys were saying with your experience here, it's a a world-class golf destination, but we're so much more. It's lakefront, multiple restaurants, meeting space, weddings, and guess what? You can also fly directly into our resort because we have our own FBO. So you can literally fly a 737 jet like they have on Southwest Airlines straight into the airport, and we'll pick you up and bring you right down to the hotel, and your golf experience can begin. So we are unique for all those reasons, and couldn't be more proud of where we're at this time in the golf industry.
Now, Billy, where are you residing at there on the resort? Are you in the tower?
Yes, I'm in the tower, and my room overlooks the pool, well, one pool, and one of the hot tubs. I have a great view, and I can see the white water course. So I have a great view. But I can tell you, of the 13 of us that are here and been here and doing all the exploration, everybody seems to love the hot tub at the yacht club because that's where all the guys have gone. And it's been so easy, baby.
Feel the fabric, Billy. Feel the fabric.
Exactly. So we go over there. You go downstairs, you ask the shuttle, hey, I want to go here. Shuttle picks you up. Shuttle takes you literally right to the front door. I mean, the guys we've been going everywhere and anywhere we can go, whether it's the marina, doing the boat rides, the pontoon boats. We got history while we were there. I got to see LBJ's boat that, has been refurbished or fixed or whatever they call it. But to look at that boat and see the historic value of what it is, and to know that one of our presidents was there using and driving that boat was incredible. We passed Roger Starbuck's house. He had 4 boats. I think it was 4 boats in there, all Dallas Cowboy colors in there.
Sorry.
So there's a lot to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, well, yeah, it's the Dallas Cowboys. I know we got our teams, but you got to give props. It is amazing, from the marina to the food. I mean, Biggs, we could do a whole episode on the food and the chefs. They have top-notch food, top-notch grounds, service. And, we touched a little bit on the service and how the employees are there and how they shake when we were talking with Anthony, how even the girls, they have a firm grip, looking you in your eyes, making sure everything is going well. And it's not just one, it's all. It's not one person taking care of a table. It's 4, it's 5. Anybody that walks by and looks, they acknowledge you. Nobody turns their head and says, oh, I didn't see that glass half empty. Everybody is attentive and doing their job there, and then some.
James, you have multiple levels of lodging there. Let's say I want to take a group of 15 guys up there for a golf outing and for a golf excursion. So sell me some sort of residence or some sort of lodging for 15 guys. What would you say to me?
Absolutely, and thanks, Big. Thanks, Bill, for the opportunity to kind of promote here. But so I'll paint you the picture. So typical sales fashion here, we've got a level for every single person, every single golfer of every demographic that comes into the resort. But we'll start with the highest package. Let's talk about that. So 15 guys or girls, depending. We've got the capabilities on property here. We've got 2 18-passenger Dorniers on property, turboprops that will go pick you up at your destination of choice. Say it's Philly, say it's Dallas, wherever. Bring you into the resort, into our FBO. We pick you up in some one of the many of our stretch navigators on property. Bring you down to the waterfront condos where you literally can walk out your door onto the dock, and there's a pontoon waiting for you with a nice cold beer. You guys will then, get transported over from our golf transportation up to the course to play a practice round or an afternoon round. You play 9, 18, you come back and you enjoy at the Whitewater 360 with a little skins game, maybe on our par 72 putting course at Whitewater. And afterwards, you cut a rug a little bit there, wake up in the morning, golf transportation's at your door, taking you up to another one of our 4 golf courses. You play 18, play 36, you come on back. And nowhere in the country are you able to fly in, have 100% door-to-door service with golf, and that's the most luxurious package we would have. For the average Joe like myself, if you wanted to fly into Austin Bergstrom Airport, we also have transportation that'll pick you up there. We can arrange that. So we've got enough seats with our fleet of vehicles to pick up your 15 folks. We'll be there waiting with bells on. And if you wanted to make a stop of it, you could stop at one of the 18 wineries that surround the resort on the way back. You could, stop at one of the distilleries that's nearby the resort as well before you land here on property. And then you have the option there, if you were a little closer with your friends, to stay in some of our Palm Villas. So we have the luxury condos. We have the Palm Villas, which are 1, 2, or 3 bedroom villas where you could, bunk up with some of your friends. And then the last one would be we've got 250 guest rooms here in the tower where Bill mentioned he's at right now. Beautiful views surrounding the area. You've got pool views. You've got, some of the land views out here that overlook some of the greenery in this area. Not a bad view in the house, Biggs.
And it sounds like to me, so you can accommodate anywhere from hundreds of people for a wedding to what I just mentioned, 15 or even 5 people if they wanted to come up there and have a nice visit and stay at the resort and have a stay and play package for golf or whatever they're interested in doing, don't you?
Absolutely, and we cater to all golfers. Like you said, anywhere from 1 to we've had a tournament of 2 courses, double gun. So it just depends on what your size of your group you're looking for. So in the group sales department here, we do a lot of annual kickoff charity golf events. We do some really cool shootouts as well. So it depends on what you're looking for, but we can host, several hundred golfers at a time up here. And most people, it's interesting because we just recently got ranked number 13 in all of the South and Southwest for the United States for resorts in general. So the buzz is out there. People are starting to notice Horseshoe Bay, and the name of the game is exposure, getting us out there. We are easily one of the nicest resorts and golf resorts in the country.
The GolfFather, the GolfFather and myself has a very close place in our hearts for the Folds of Honor Foundation. I'm sure you've heard of that foundation. I could really see with the golf courses that you have there having multiple tournaments to benefit the Folds of Honor. And as a matter of fact, we should put you in touch with that chapter out there with Texas out there and see if we can make that happen. But man, it sounds like someplace I certainly want to have an outing.
It's gonna happen, Biggs. I already started working with that. I spoke with Anthony about it, and I spoke with James a little bit about it. There is so much going on right now. That's what I'm saying. This is just the beginning, scratching the surface. We have a big Folds of Honor chapter right there in Texas. We have the big one right there in Houston that travels all over the place with the Nemcheks and stuff like that. So that's all I saw. I was envisioning, you see how we take over most resorts when we go as a Folds of Honor group anywhere it's at. I can see that perfect. All the meals, all the media space, everything that you want is right there. I never had to leave. Everything I wanted, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and it was different. It wasn't the same food, wasn't the same menu. Everything had its own niche, and it was top-notch food, fresh food. I can see the Folds of Honor there and all the representatives going there to stay in that place. Biggs, it's huge. It's beautiful. I would love to see it happen one day, and we're going to do everything we can to help make it happen.
Let's turn back to Brian. And Brian, from my understanding, Horseshoe Bay Resort also offers memberships to people out there. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. It's a growing membership base. We've got about 2,000 memberships, which is about 4,500 people. So it's a big membership component. We've got members from all over the U.S. that choose to be members at the club at Horseshoe Bay Resort. And, to me, we host so many programming and lifestyle, lots of wine dinners for our members and guests that, really make friendships throughout the membership. But we also do some over-the-top events for our club members. We do a hot air balloon festival every Easter. We do just finished this craft brewery festival, craft beer with live music. It's called Beer by the Bay, right in Horseshoe Bay, Texas. And I think this past year we had Leanne Rimes as our featured headliner, 2-time Grammy Award winner. Coming up just in a couple of weeks, we have a wine, dine, and jazz festival. So all the area wineries come and do some events there. And then And then we also do the shootout, which James was mentioning, and that's where we bring some PGA pros and they compete in a match play format. And it's unlike anything else. We actually get to walk with the pros. We've got a couple of gators that we convert into roving bars, and you kind of get to have a beer or two and walk with the pros as they go around one of our award-winning golf courses. So those kind of events, plus the routine monthly events where members connect, really make it one of the most vibrant and celebrated private clubs in the country, and we're pretty proud of that.
One quick thing I want to just tell Brian, I wanted to thank him for the hospitality. Your staff is incredible. It didn't matter where I went. I kind of was a rebel. I didn't wear my tag on purpose because I didn't want to stand out. I wanted to be just like everybody else. I wanted to be just like every other guest and see how I would be treated. So I was kind of a rebel a little bit, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter if I have my badge on, if I didn't have my badge on. I got the same great service from the same great people. Your guests were praising everything from the food, from the 360 bar to the yacht club to Lantaña, the service that we got every morning for breakfast. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Donna from the spa. James, of course, he's on right now. But Christy, she was incredible. She's the director of marketing. Lacey Moore, sales manager. Kelly Tate, I got to spend some time with her, director of activities. Everything that you got going on there, and Bobby Steiner that works on the other side, you have a hidden gem there. And like I said, we can't get enough of what has to be said in one show. You should be very proud in everything that you invest, and I think it's going to pay off huge for you guys because it's a family resort. It's a golfer's resort. It's everybody's resort. It's for the corporate office. It's for everybody. So that's what I wanted to say. All right, Biggs.
All right. And we got about a minute and a half, and Brian, I just want to ask you this question because we talked with Anthony, and Anthony emphasized on his golf staff and how important it is to him for hospitality. I'm going to pose that same question to you throughout the resort. Do you guys have that same culture where it can't be? We know it can't be perfect, but we want to get it to as close as perfect and respond to all the feedback that you receive.
Yeah, it's appreciate that feedback, and I'll make sure I pass that on to the team because we do. We pride ourselves on customer service, and that sounds trite, but everything I tell the team, golf staff, everyone at the front desk, valet, we've got 800 associates that work at the resort. That's a lot of people. But what I tell everyone is that it's a privilege to be of service to others. And when we adopt that mantra, even amongst ourselves, and I tell it to my staff that you've got to be of service to our guests, you got to be of service to our club members, but you've also got to be of service to each other because it's a privilege to have this opportunity at this time, at this day, and at this resort. And I think everyone's really bought into that. So it pleases me when I hear that feedback that everyone is engaged. We look for opportunities to help other people, and you can see that along the guest path experience that goes through with everyone at the restaurants and at valet, at the golf courses, and it makes me happy to hear that. So we take pride in our service, but we're privileged to have it, and we appreciate the business. And I think that's kind of the differentiator. We don't have to do it because we have to. We do it because we want to, and I think you see that on the service side.
Brian and James, thank you so much for joining us here on Biggs Golf Talk. I'm looking forward to meeting you both in person sometime soon. And sounds like Horseshoe Bay really has something unique and something special that no other resort has. And I'm certainly telling everybody, hey, listen, guys, you want to visit someplace, you want to take a winter golf vacation, Horseshoe Bay Resort, look it up and check it out. And hopefully it's something that they want to explore. And so thank you so much for hosting the GolfFather there. And Billy, it sounds like it's a great time. As a matter of fact, phrase of the week is Horseshoe Bay. There you go.
There you go. So, the phrase that pays is Horseshoe Bay.
Absolutely. I like it. Absolutely. All right, coming up next here on Biggs Golf Talk is your Biggs product of the week. We'll be right back right after this.
Have you ever seen a tour pro line up a putt with a dirty ball? No way. A clean ball rolls accurately, and accurate putts mean lower scores. The solution? Ready Putt. It's the putter cover reinvented. Ready Putt has a patented ball cleaner that's made to absorb and retain water. All you need to do is add water, and it remains wet throughout your round, giving your ball the perfect shine. It also has a magnetic surface to hold your ball marker and divot repair tool. Let's say you switch putters from round to round using a blade, mid-mallet, or large mallet. Ready Putt Original has you covered. Look, putting is hard enough. Accurate putts start with a clean ball, and a clean ball starts with Ready Putt.
For more information about Ready Putt, visit ReadyPutt.com. That is ReadyPutt.com. Clean it and sink it. The Spider Divot Tool's revolutionary new design is better for greens and makes ball mark repairs easy. No sharp ends or dirt in your pocket, the Spider achieves amazing results with little or no skill. With a simple push-pull action, the Spider makes ball marks disappear quicker and better for a smoother putting surface. The Spider includes a magnetic ball marker and is made of milled aluminum to last a lifetime. It also makes a great gift for your next tournament and that special golfer who has it all. The Spider tool from Instagolf is a must-have in every golfer's bag. For more information about the Spider Divot Tools, their website is www.spiderdivottools.com and enter promo code BIGG Golf Talk to get 10% off your purchase. www.spiderdivottools.com. The Spider Divot Tools is the official divot tool of Biggs Golf Talk.
Golf Talk for golfers on Biggs Golf Talk. Back to Bill the GolfFather Cuebas and Big John Vick.
This is Big's Product of the Week. Each week, Big John and the GolfFather select a golf product to feature. Here is Big John Vick and Bill the GolfFather Cuebas with this week's Product of the Week.
And Big's Product of the Week is sponsored by the U.S. Golf Challenge with Tito's Vodka. You must be 21 years of age to enjoy a great Tito's beverage. Friends, don't let friends drive drunk. And check out usgolfchallenge.com right now for your 2020 national qualifiers near you, your local ones. That's going to get you to participate and make Team USA. Those folks that have made Team USA for 2019 is looking forward to May when they defend the King's Cup in Ireland. Big John Vick along with the GolfFather Bill Cuebas on iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, and all your smart home devices. And Billy, you're at a special place. You're in the Midwest, but the lower Midwest. Houston, Texas, yes. Baby. Austin, Texas. And Austin. You are having a good time, as we have talked about throughout the show. But we are talking about different aspects of this great Horseshoe Bay Resort. One of the great aspects is their golf academy, as we heard earlier on. But one of the guys that really does a great job at that golf academy, his name is Bobby Steiner. And Bobby began his teaching career back in 1996 in Asheville, North Carolina. And a few years later, moved to Palm Springs, California to serve as head teaching professional at the Weston Mission Resort. Gary Player's signature course, Bobby spent nearly 2 decades at the Weston, where he worked on one-on-one with thousands of golfers of all levels and thousands more through Golf Digest and ESPN Golf Schools. Well, we have the infamous Bobby Steiner here with us, Billy. And not only does he have a great golf academy there in Austin, Texas, as you have experienced there all this week, but he's got some great gift ideas, and that is what our product of the week is all about. Go ahead, Bill.
Yes, so I got some of these gifts ahead of time. I was fortunate enough. I got Golf's Gifts, A Lifetime of Lessons, which is one of his books, which we're going to get to talk about. And then he has another little book of practice games. So it's a short game mystery, but it's where you can play a whole bunch of games, which is really, really cool. Has longest putt made for the date. There's a 15-minute challenge, 4 feet of focus. But the biggest thing was that, we were on the golf course with Bobby, and we were doing this thing that the 3 pillars of power. And he has this thing called the tempo tuner. So he was playing this really relaxing music and training us how to stretch, how to do this and how to do that. And then we went and took it onto the practice range. And what impressed me the most and why I wanted him on the show was because he simply moved my hand position and moved my right elbow, tucked it in. And, it took a little bit because, muscle memory. But then I started hitting my irons and my driver straight. No more little slices or duck hooks. They were just nice little right down the middle where I was aiming. And I actually increased some distance. So, Mr. Bobby Speener, we need you to tell us more about what you're doing, how you came up with this idea.
Well, you know what?
Let's touch.
Hey Billy, before we get to the book, what I want to talk to him about, and let's touch on really quick what he did for you, because remember I told you that someone told me about my hand position. I'm kind of curious, and we'll get to that, but you guys got to check out the Horseshoe Bay Resort Golf Academy, and Bobby, welcome into the program, but a manicured 80,000 square foot practice area known as the Golf Academy at Horseshoe Bay Resort. This has got to be one of the largest golf academies I've ever seen at 80,000 square feet. How? What do you guys do there?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. This is wonderful. I consider it a great opportunity. The golf, when you have a 72-hole property, then there are just a few demands that you don't face elsewhere. I spent the last 20 winters in Palm Springs there, and the last 12 summers in Columbus, Ohio, going summer, winter. But, those were smaller facilities. One was 36 holes, the other was only 18. And so when you only have, a few hundred members, that's a different thing than when you have 2,000 members and also a full resort. And so we've got multiple short game areas. We have 3 different driving ranges. We work on, do all kinds of software, computer analysis on people's golf swing and things like that. So it's just we're just trying to keep up with the demand.
Now you corrected his grip on his golf club. On his golf clubs. Is that standard? Because I find that people telling me that too, golf professionals saying, hey, I'm a left-hander, so turn my right hand over a little bit. And, I had it too far under the club, and I needed to come over a little more of a stronger grip. Is that pretty common?
Well, yes. Here's the thing: if someone is left to their whims of their own thinking, they will never come up with the right grip. You show me someone with a proper grip, and I'll show you someone who's been taught. There are specifics. There's 3 checkpoints that must be adhered to on the left hand and 4 on the right. We're talking about a right-handed player here, and so 7 checkpoints in all. And there's some latitude to be granted, meaning one professional's grip might look a little different from the other, but yet they all adhere to those fundamentals that I would call the big 7 gems. And if you don't have that, here's the thing: your grip is your club face. So if you've got your hands on there correctly, the face will square at impact without you having to do anything to manipulate it at the moment of impact. In other words, if you feel like you must micromanage the moment of impact to keep it from going right or to keep it from going left, then you can be sure that your grip is in need of some work.
Well, and typically, let's face it, most amateurs do not know how to manipulate their golf club when they come at impact. That's more of a professional thing, and they know how to control the ball more than an amateur would know how to control the ball. So if you're a 10, 15, 20 handicapper, I guarantee most of us do not know how to manipulate a golf club at impact. Am I correct?
Yes, but the thing is even the professional's grip is so strong, they don't have to know how to manipulate it. There's nothing required on their part to do so because their grip is right. And so all they've got to do is line up at the target, take the club back and hit it, and they can be pretty sure that ball's going to fly pretty straight. The issue with the grip is, let's say you have it wrong. Let's say you have a grip wherein the ball always flies right. Well, what are you going to do? You're eventually going to start swinging to the left in anticipation of your ball going right. Well, so now you got an over-the-top, across-the-ball swing, which is required to make that grip work as well as it even possibly can. And so, if you show me so you have cause and effect. The cause is a bad grip. The first effect is a ball that flies to the right. The second effect is you swinging left to make it fit. And the third effect is you jumping back on your back foot to make that happen. The fourth effect is you're out of balance. The fifth effect is, you can't play very well. And you're, so it's important that you you fix the cause and not one of the effects. And it's very tempting for most people to want to look at an effect and go, I got to fix that. Well, no. You need that poor looking effect just to make your bad grip work. And so it's a mess until someone fixes you.
All right.
Yeah, but you know what he did, Biggs?
What's that?
One quick thing also, in addition to my grip, I think because I was at about just shy of 1 o'clock, he put me more towards 1:30 on my grip, from my thumb to be at, which now I couldn't see my fingers, which of course I re-gripped, and I have a better, a better flow through my swing. The turnover is easier. I'm not trying to do it. I'm not overcooking it or anything. But I think the biggest thing that he did, which I never even noticed, was by repositioning my dominant hand, my right hand, and tucking my elbow in. Now my arm faced up, so my elbow wasn't already flared, so I wasn't set up to swing wrong. My impact was coming now from inside and dropping in the slot. As opposed to, so I was dropping in the slot, which I found almost on everything.
Right.
Now, the biggest thing that he said was when I left there, Biggs, was it's probably going to take you about 300 shots or 300 swings before it starts taking full effect.
Right.
So when I played, I didn't change. I stuck it out. I didn't care. I didn't care if I flubbed it because now he also, a good point that he had pointed out, when I changed, he goes, now you're going to tend to stand too close to the ball. And I did. So I backed up a little bit. I was flushing the ball. My divots started changing. So as I started seeing, all it took was 1 or 2 really good shots to see the effect. And I was like, okay, I'm sticking with it. And I didn't care about the bad shots. So when anybody that's trying to change a swing or do anything like that, just forget about the bad shots. Don't think, oh my God, I did this. You don't think about it. Think about the good shots. And that was one of the biggest keys that he told me. Tucking in the elbow, doing that stuff, and keying in at least 300 shots before I'm going to have it on a regular basis. And I'm looking forward to 300 shots.
There you go.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Here's how you can tell when someone has given you some advice that's worth it. Mm-hmm. And then here's the progression too. If it improves your best shot right away, in other words, then you should stick with it and know that eventually it's going to also improve your worst shot. So you don't really start turning in lower scores until you improve your worst shot. But if something does something where all of a sudden you're hitting your driver 10, 15 yards farther and it's not cutting off to the right, in other words, your best shot has improved, then the thing you've got to put up with is exactly what you just said. And that is a little bit of misery, trying to learn to trust it. And get used to it and rely on it, because nothing works. The best swing in the world must have trust and plenty of it. And that's what takes 300 shots, and eventually you'll improve and you'll really score better when your worst shot is better.
Now let's turn to the product of the week here, and the author of Golf Gifts and Jitterbug's Gift is you, Bobby Steiner, Director of Instruction at Horseshoe Bay Resort. Talk about these 2 great books.
Well, thank you for that. First of all, I started writing. My literary career started in 2001 in Palm Springs. I started writing for the weekly paper, and I learned to play golf at a mostly African American golf course in the mountains of western North Carolina. And there's actually a movie coming out about this golf course in the next month or so. I just saw the rough draft of it. The producer of the movie sent me a copy, and it's going to be wonderful. And basically, it's a place where the guys there, they learned to play because they were caddies as kids, and they weren't because of the color of their skin, they weren't allowed to play. And so some of the terminology that they used and some of the things they used to describe very astute teachers, but yet because they didn't go through the PGA of America, the terminology they used to describe different shots and whatnot came from themselves, figuring it out and going on by, whenever the moon was, they had a full moon, they could go play at night without anybody seeing them. And so one fellow in particular, his real name is Harry Jeter. He's in the Black Golf Hall of Fame. In my book, he's Jitterbug. And basically, this is my experience walking the fairways of Asheville Municipal Golf Course, learning all the different shots that he taught me, and also learning how to be a responsible citizen too. In other words, he took me under his wing and was more of a mentor than just my golf teacher. Although he had the course record, he shot 62 on 4 different occasions, and was just one of the best players from North Carolina for 25 years there. And so this is a golf instruction book, as taught by Harry Jeter to me. And it's a collection of 50, the Golf's Gifts I'm speaking of is a collection of 56 individual lessons, each of which is specific to various aspects of the game. So in other words, I'm teaching chipping, pitching, bunker play, full swing, all about course management and just everything that I learned from. In the beginning of the book, I'm a 110 shooter, which is the truth. And basically the end of the book, 4 years later, I'm moving off to California. I passed my playability test and got in the PGA and became a golf professional. So it's every lesson I learned on my way down, and that's what the book is like.
Now, Billy, you have a copy of each of these books. Have you dipped into them yet?
Of course. Yes, they make great reading. I have been watching TV, so I'm trying to read more and learn more. Especially, he had me when he did this. Literally, Biggs, in 2 seconds, he changed my swing and everything, and it wasn't nothing like crazy out of the way. So I wanted to read more, and I did. I'm up to chapter. What chapter am I up to? I think it's like chapter 3 that I'm up to. But I find it really interesting because, like he was saying, there's a lot of courses like that all around the country. I play in Rogers Park, which is historically African-American golf course. And you go there and you see the history and what they've, returned to the game and how they started and how humble it is. And, some of these golfers are amazing. So he caught me right off the start when I started reading it. But there's so many lessons in here. Just since he fixed my one thing, now I'm interested in having him fix the rest of me. So, yeah. It's going to be his gift to me, unknowing. His lifetime of lessons is actually going to help me because it's a simple read, Big. It's very, very self-explanatory. It's none of this crazy stuff. Right to the point. Here, this is what you have to do. And I love it. So far, I'm looking forward to finishing up.
I'd say it's been a very rewarding thing. I had George Herbert Walker Bush send me a little note in the mail saying I thoroughly enjoyed your book. This was when it first came out. Also, Rich Beam from the PGA Tour. He offered to write a foreword, should I ever put it, or an introduction, should I ever put it back in print. And it's been a wonderful thing. Bruce Nordstrom of the Nordstrom stores read the book and then flew down to see me, and then he put the book in all of his Nordstrom stores for the 2007, 2008, 2009 Christmas shopping season.
Wow.
And which was wonderful because it was the only book that Nordstrom sold.
That's awesome.
He even set up a bunch of book signings for the holiday season. So it's been a wonderful thing. It's been a wonderful way to reach people. And I think people appreciate that there's a human side to golf, and that those who don't play golf don't understand that when you go out and you shoot your best ever, that is just as momentous to you as when a PGA Tour player wins his first victory. In other words, when you're standing over that putt to shoot your best score ever, it is just as rewarding and gratifying in every way as it is for anybody else in golf to do anything they're trying to do. It's what it means to the individual. And so for that reason, we're all in this game in the exact same boat. All we want is a good game for us and continued progress. And if you're doing that, then you are getting the most out of golf. And it's a wonderful, wonderful pursuit for those who have the good fortune to get to play the game.
Absolutely. Bobby Steiner, thank you so much for joining us here on Biggs Golf Talk. Really quick, also on his website at bobbysteiner.com. That is Bobby, B-O-B-B-Y, Steiner, STEINER.com. He has a Temple tuner for a perfect swing training system. And check that out. Talking about the holidays, some great holiday gift ideas right there at bobbysteiner.com for that reader in your life or for that golfer that wants to improve their golf game with the Temple tuner. Bobby, thank you so much for joining us here on Biggs Golf Talk.
It is a pleasure, and I look forward to joining you sometime in the future if you'll have me back.
Absolutely. Biggs,
yes, we will.
Biggs Product of the Week has been sponsored by the U.S. Golf Challenge with Tito's Vodka. Enjoy a great Tito's beverage. You must be 21 years of age to do so. And check out the 2020 national qualifiers locally at usgolfchallenge.com or at biggsgolftalk.com. Billy, that does it for another great show here on Biggs Golf Talk. You have a safe trip home, my friend. And as a matter of fact, I will see you soon in Orlando.
Yes, we're going to Disney, baby.
Absolutely. We're going to Disney. I'm looking forward to it. For the GolfFather, Bill Cuebas, for Amanda, the Golf Diva Robertson, I am Big John Vick. This has been Big's Golf Talk. Until next time, everybody, good golfing, and you matter.
It's Saturday morning. We're gonna play golf. The wife is moaning. We're gonna play golf. The kids are all screaming like someone's gonna die. The grass needs mowing, it's 2 feet high. But the boys are calling, so we're gonna play golf. Golf course, here I come. Play golf. It'll turn you lazy. Play golf. It'll make you crazy. Something strange happens to your brain when you take a big swing with that little white ball. It don't matter if we win or lose. Even birdie par and double bogey too. The boys are calling, so we're gonna play golf. Nice shot, Arnold.